Avoidants tend to live in very routine, structured lives. Their days, habits, and schedules are not accidental. They're carefully built to help them feel stable, in control, and emotionally safe. Life feels manageable when they know what to expect. That structure isn't about being rigid for no reason. It's a coping mechanism. It's how they regulate their nervous system and prevent emotional overwhelm. For many avoidants, predictability equals safety. When things are familiar and controlled, their stress stays lower. Their body isn't on constant alert. They can function. They can breathe. Without realizing it, they design their lives around minimizing stimulation, uncertainty, and emotional chaos. So let me give you an example of what this can look like. Many avoidants schedule their days in very specific ways, almost like a robotic routine. Sunday might be for rest, recharging, or personal projects. Monday might be errands and practical tasks. Tuesday might be a set routine, gym, work, the same meals. Wednesday could be a lighter day where they don't socialize much. Thursday might be a hobby day. Friday might be the day they finally return calls, answer messages, or catch up socially. To someone on the outside, it can look oddly specific, or emotionally distant, or even boring. But to the avoidant, this structure is how they manage their energy and stress. Believe it or not, a lot of avoidants live this way. They just don't talk about it. This routine helps them stay regulated. It helps them know how much emotional energy they're spending and where. It keeps their nervous system from tipping into overload. Now here's where relationships come in. If you fit smoothly into that system, meaning you're calm, independent, emotionally steady, and not adding pressure, you're easy to integrate. You don't disrupt the flow. You don't spike their stress. You don't feel like another responsibility. It will also depend on your life as well, and if you are aligned with their structure. But when a relationship brings unpredictability, emotional urgency, constant needs, pressure, or intensity, it disrupts the system they've carefully built to feel safe. That's when problems start. This is why avoidants move slowly when letting someone into their life. It's not always because they don't want to commit. They're often afraid someone won't fit perfectly into their rigid routine lives. It's because they're protecting the stability they depend on to function. They're not just choosing a partner. They're assessing whether that person will destabilize their nervous system or disrupt the life they depend on to function. When an avoidant chooses a partner, they usually don't build their life around that person. Instead, the relationship has to fit into the life they already have. Their routines come first. Their structure comes first. Their system comes first. They work very hard to maintain this balance, even if they don't consciously know they're doing it. Every decision is weighed, not to be difficult, not to be controlling, but to protect predictability and emotional steadiness. So when someone enters their life who feels unpredictable, emotionally intense, too high maintenance, or overly dependent, or someone who seems like they can't emotionally function without constant reassurance, it creates stress, sometimes even panic. This is especially true when codependent behaviors are present. When someone needs frequent emotional regulation from them, reassurance or constant contact, the avoidant's nervous system feels like it's being pulled on all the time. What used to feel stable now feels chaotic. Their mind starts seeing problems where there weren't any before. Their body feels tense. Their thoughts feel crowded. Their stress levels rise. And to them, this doesn't feel personal. It feels like survival. They're not thinking, I don't like this person. They're thinking, My life feels out of control. And their system responds by pulling away. This is why avoidants are selective about who they let in. They don't change or expand their routines for just anyone. Letting someone in requires trust, emotional safety, and proof that the relationship won't destabilize them. Every new person is subconsciously evaluated not just for emotional compatibility, but for how much disruption they'll bring to the avoidant's carefully built structure. When choosing partners, they make decisions based on logic, not emotion, and they will judge and think, will this person add peace or pressure, calm or chaos, regulation or overwhelm? They also sit and quietly wonder, will this person need more help? Will they expect me to save them? These thoughts don't come from arrogance. They come from fear. Avoidants are constantly assessing emotional risk. They analyze your life without you ever knowing it. They notice whether you're independent, emotionally stable, and able to manage your own responsibilities. They pay attention to how you handle stress, whether you can self-regulate, and how you respond when things don't go your way. They notice if you can take care of yourself without leaning too heavily on them. They often calculate things like finances, debt, and stability, not to judge you, but to understand what kind of pressure a relationship might bring into their life. In their mind, partnership equals shared load, and they're already carrying more internally than most people realize. Many avoidants will quietly background check you, and I'm not exaggerating. This isn't manipulation, it's protection. They live with an underlying fear of getting trapped in something emotionally overwhelming, so they want to know exactly who they're dealing with before they allow closeness. If they notice red flags, emotional volatility, dependence, chaos, unresolved instability, they may begin pulling away without explaining why. It has nothing to do with them not being interested right away because they were, but because their nervous system has already decided it doesn't feel safe to move forward. This is why when you're dealing with more mature, emotionally stable avoidants, having your life in order matters. These are the avoidants who are seeking wives or husbands to build with, so they are very picky in who they choose. They're not looking for perfection. They're looking for steadiness. They need to feel that being with you won't cost them their balance, their peace, or their ability to function. And that's something many people don't realize. When you understand this, it becomes easier not to take avoidance personally. Their pulling back isn't always about you. It's about their system protecting the life it needs to function. That doesn't mean avoidants can't love deeply. They can. But love alone isn't enough for them to override their nervous system. Safety has to come first. Only when an avoidant feels confident that you won't disrupt their internal balance, when trust is established over time, they slowly begin to share their world. Not all at once, not dramatically, but gradually. So dating an avoidant requires patience. It requires respect for their structure. And it requires emotional independence, the ability to stand on your own without needing constant regulation from them. When you can fit into their world without threatening it, they feel safe enough to let you in. And when they do, it's genuine, it's steady, it's real, slow but real.